Hello, everyone. How are you? My name is Penda James, and I'm a scribe coach. And what I do is I assist people to get unstuck, execute their goals, and inscribe their legacy. What you are watching is something that I am calling the Resilience Project. This is an opportunity for me to gather tools for leaders to help them stay resilient. I'm doing that by having awesome sacred conversations with people that I care about, talking about things that are important to them so that we can all gather these tools together. So I am introducing my friends to my friends so that we can all do great work in the kingdom. Today, I have the opportunity to speak with a young woman, Qiana Lady Q Buckner. I've known her for several years, was introduced to her by a dear friend of mine, Ladina Anderson. And I met Qiana at one of her conferences that she was hosting. And there was a prophetess there who spoke a word into my life. And those words are still resonating in my spirit. What she said was, God got you. So Qiana is a mom. She's a football mom, a baseball mom. She's an event planner. She's an author. She's written several books to share her testimony and to encourage women to keep striving to be their best and to know that God has not forgotten them. Just amazing, amazing, and beautiful work. And I'm so excited to have this conversation with her today. And our declaration is, I'm a diamond in the rough. So,
Absolutely.
Miss Qiana, was there something that I didn't say about you that you want people to know?
Well, I like to consider myself what I call a transformation specialist. So I empower women and young girls to transform into their highest self while living their lives unapologetically, using the diamond and the butterfly as a synopsis, as a foundation. And, transforming into your highest self means basically knowing who you are. And so we use the examples of self mastery as our main focus and our main goal. And self mastery is what? Your confidence. Self mastery is your self worth. It is your self love. It is trusting yourself. It is knowing who you are and being and living unapologetically you, unbothered.
Unapologetically you,
Mm-hmm.
unbothered. I'm quite
Yes.
sure that we're going to talk more about that as
Yes.
as we go through. But could you give us a definition of what it means to be a diamond in the rough?
So I remember when I first heard the term a diamond in the rough. I had just come from living in a homeless shelter, and I was studying the word of God, and the Lord spoke to me, a diamond in the rough. And I'm like, what is that? It sounded familiar, but I didn't know what it was. And so when I looked up the actual definition, the definition in the dictionary for a diamond in the rough is a rare and precious gem or stone lacking polish and refinement. So
Mm.
it's still a gem, it's still precious, and it's still a stone, but it's lacking polish and refinement. And so if I relate that to my life, so there was so much more that God had spoke years and years and years after that. That was around 1998, 1999. And so now here I am years and years and years later, and God now transforming me into the diamond. He spoke and said, you are the diamond in the rough. You are the diamond in your story. You are the diamond in your life. I call you my diamond. And so God, as we're rare, we're precious, and we are gems to God, but that lacking the polish and refinement is just a reminder of us always needing God, always needing his presence, always needing his power, always needing his forgiveness, right? Always needing his hand, always needing his direction and his guidance in our lives. So if I could give you that definition, it would be just that, a rare, precious gem, or stone, but it's lacking polish and refinement. And that's where that rough comes in.
Oh, that's good, Qiana. I mean, I really envision like the jeweler just polishing
Yes,
and
yes.
polishing and polishing,
Polishing and polishing.
you
Yep.
know, and I know like as us, we don't like that constant, you know, iron,
Right,
like, okay,
right.
you know, I have, you know, my daughter, she doesn't like really people touching her. So she's always like that, you know, when people want to give her a hug. And so that constant
Mhm,
polishing
mhm.
is just really a powerful image of really how much God loves us.
Yes, yes, yes. I think when I think about it, it's just like, whenever you'll never ever be so perfect that you don't need God. We'll always need his presence. We'll always need him to polish us. Once I get here, if I get to this level, it's like, yes, I made it to this level. God was like, well, guess what? Now you need me to get to the next level. Let me polish you off at this level so that I can get you to the next one. So it's always, always, always will need his polishing.
That's good stuff. So how has being a diamond in the rough been a thread throughout your life?
Ooh. Well, it's amazing where it wasn't until the age of 38 that I realized God called me and chose me to be a diamond. Um,
38?
38, 38, the precious, precious age of 38. And I tell people all the time, um, it's never you're never there's no specific age, right? There's no specific number. As you know, in my book, Metamorphosis, I talk about how it wasn't until the woman with the issue of blood, it wasn't until God had it wasn't until he healed the woman that the little girl was raised from the dead. So it doesn't matter, the age. It's really your mentality, you accepting who you are, knowing who you are, coming to that revelation, God showing you. And so, it's been throughout my life, I've noticed, I remember when I was at Penn State University and God said, you're handpicked. And I'm like, okay, okay. But I had to literally settle within myself. And it wasn't until you were helping me. I was writing my first book with the help of my favorite scrap coach, my only scrap coach, Penda L. James. That as I was writing the chapter in the book was titled "A Diamond in the Rough."
Yeah.
I had kept, when the Lord spoke that to me years past, I had kept it with me. I never understood it. He showed me a vision, but it was at that moment, sitting at that dining room table, that God said, you are the diamond in the rough. You are the diamond in your story. And it took me back to, the synopsis of how the diamond was formed and how it was how it's created and how it's made. It's, the story and the testimony alone is unbelievable. And and like you said, 38, yeah, because it's not until a diamond is not even considered at value until it's cut.
Mm.
It's created to be a diamond. A diamond's only job in and of itself is to shine.
Yeah.
The only job a diamond has is to shine. But everything that's done to the diamond is not even done by the diamond itself. It's done by other people. And so, once that it's cut, and then the value is, named. And so it wasn't until 38 years old that God said, you are the diamond, and that revelation hit me. And I was just like, wow.
So if we go back before 38,
Mm-hmm.
I know this because I have read your books. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that you've been through a lot of experiences in your life where it was nothing but the hand of God that got you
Yeah.
out of those situations.
Right.
So if you recognized it when you were 38, that God had spoken to you prior to that you were the diamond in the rough, how did the pressure of being
Mm.
formed as a diamond shape you?
That's a very, very good question. um, it wasn't easy. Pressure is never easy. Um, I think for me, it was the presence, and this is going to sound so cliche, but I don't know any other way to say it. I think it was the presence and the peace of God in my life at a very, very young age. And knowing that it was God, but not understanding God at the time is what really helped me. I could remember at the age of 8 and 9 years old, when my brother passed away, I just remember we had, as I suffered a lot of abuse
Mhm.
when I was a child. We went through a lot of physical abuse, and my brother died because he was very sick with sickle cell anemia at the result of the abuse, because of the abuse. And so I remember, when he passed away and things began to happen and we got sent to foster care. And I remember just having a conversation. I knew I was talking to God, but I didn't understand that I was talking to God.
Okay.
That makes sense. And I said to him, I said, I don't blame my mom. I said, I don't blame her. I said, I know that it has nothing to do with her. And then my mom wasn't even the one who abused us. It was her.
Yeah, it was okay.
And so I said, but I don't blame them. I said, I blame the enemy inside of them. And this is a little girl talking, didn't know nothing about Jesus.
Yeah.
Heard of him. I would go to church because I was forced to. But so it's always been for me the intellectual, the knowledge that God was there, knowing him but not understanding him. And so I guess throughout the years, that pressure always in the back of my mind and in my heart saying, knowing that it's got to be bigger, it's going to be better. And even when God spoke a diamond in the rough, everything that I said to him, it was going to be, I thought it was going to be the title of my first book. I thought it was going to be, a conference. Everything that I said it was going to be, he said, no, it's bigger than that. He kept saying, no, it's bigger than that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so, throughout the years and throughout the different types of abuse that I went through abuse in the church. I went through a domestic violence situation. Died. I went through abuse as a child, but even in those moments of pressure and those moments of feeling like the lump of coal that had been created anyway, God was still letting me know on the inside, it's bigger. There's more work to be done.
So let's talk about that, because
Okay.
when I started the Resilience Project, it was just for me to have conversations with people that I care about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then one day God said, you are the Resilience Project. What?
Wow. Yeah.
And so as you're saying, God said to you, you are a diamond in the rough. You need to be polished. You need to experience the pressure. You need that. And the same thing for me. Me gathering tools for resilience is because I forgot. So under the pressure, I just heard this quote. It said something like, pipes burst and diamonds are formed under pressure. And so when I think about many of the things that I need in my life in ministry, I create because they don't exist, right?
Ooh, I like
So
that.
these conversations with people that I care about, like we're in this season where we can't have conversations. We can't be in the couch kicking it with some tea or whatever. Like we have to connect with each other this way. So because I know your story and I know, I just really want to encourage y'all to go get Qiana's books, because you're looking at somebody who really is a living testimony.
Yeah.
And we say those kinds of things like, I'm a living testimony and God's had his hand on me. But when you literally just said, I went through a physically abusive relationship and almost died.
Yeah. Almost died.
But God.
But God. But God.
But God. So would we say that those experiences were polishing, or was it pressure? And give us an example of the difference between polishing and pressure.
Okay.
This is good.
I would say I would say leading up to the age of 38 was pressure.
Okay.
Was pressure. And
Pressure.
let me just give a little bit of information to your audience. At the time, at the age of 38, when the Lord said, "You are the diamond," I was going through a divorce. I was in a season of brokenness. I was writing through my brokenness. It was the words of my scribe coach, Miss Penda James, that changed my trajectory as a writer when she said, "Okay, now you've written from the victim's perspective, now write as the expert." And so that's what changed my trajectory as an author, to be able to write my stories. But up until the age of 38, I would say it was pressure. And it was pressure because I didn't even recognize the fact that I was the diamond. All I knew was church hurt. Or and I wouldn't even say church hurt. I would say people hurt, because the church doesn't hurt us. It's the people.
People in the church.
Lack of knowledge hurt people. And so I would say, hurting from people in the church, living in homeless shelters, not having a safe place to go, never having a covering from a father, from a pastor, from a husband, from anyone. So it was, and going through the different types of abuse and just so many things. It was all, and I want to say, under pressure, the weight of the pressure. And it's the weight of the pressure that makes you want to give up. It's the weight of the pressure that makes you want to throw in the towel, that makes you want to take your life. It's the weight of the pressure that has you feeling like, I'm not good enough. Do I deserve, everything that I dream about? It's the weight of the pressure that causes you to want to just throw it all away. But, at that, up until that moment, I would say it was pressure. But at the age of 38, in a season of brokenness, when God said, "You are the diamond," that's where the polishing began.
Ah,
Because I recognized who I was.
that's good.
Now that I know who I am, now God can begin to polish me. Now he can begin to smooth out those rough edges that were formed as I was under pressure.
Yeah.
Now I can stand confidently and say, I am a confident woman. Now I can stand and say, of course I'm cute. Now I can say metamorphosis. Now I can write my letter and say, dear transformation, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So it was up until that moment that it was all pressure. And then when God showed me who I was, that's where the polishing began.
And the interesting thing, as I'm listening to you, I've seen you on both sides.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
And I didn't really recognize that until just now. That I saw you when you were under pressure, not as a child, but as a woman, as a woman, and you're in this situation where you're really struggling and trying to find who you are. And then when God spoke to you, you were mad at me when I was like, no, write it again.
Yes, I was like, what? I just cried. I was crying and writing like, oh, she told me to write through brokenness. I'm writing everything. And you said, oh, that's nice. I liked it. And I'll write it again. Oh, calm. I said, what?
Yeah, you were mad at me.
Like, what in the world? Oh.
And that's the thing
Jesus.
about, for me, being a scribe coach, it's like, I honestly believe that every word that we write is necessary. It's important.
I agree.
So even when you were writing and you were crying, that was to get to the root of where your pain was coming from. And then once you hit the place where God spoke to you clearly and said, you are the diamond in the rough. Now it's time for, let me do my work.
Yes.
So let me take you to the next level,
Yes.
So it's interesting that I just recognized I've seen you on both sides, under pressure and now being polished. That's a revelation for me, even, that sometimes we see people on one side of their struggle, and we treat them the way that we knew how to treat them before they recognized who God said that they were. Dang.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's
stuff.
good.
That is good stuff.
So what do you want people to know, Qiana? Men and women, people in leadership, people in the church who love God but might not be going to church right now. What do you want leaders to know about what it means to be a diamond in the rough? Because this applies to men and to women as
Mhm.
well. But what do you want to say to a leader about being a diamond in the rough?
Wow. Um, I would encourage them not to fall under pressure. And if they do fall under pressure, it's okay. Um, the power is not in the fall, the power is in you getting back up.
Mm.
If you fall 7 times, get up 8. Pressure is never easy and it does not feel good. However, once you come out, you'll come out pure and you'll come out perfected and you'll come out just as God intended you to come out. Diamonds are very rare. They're very, very precious to God. They're rare, but they're precious to God. And, if I can, I don't know how much time we have left, but if I can just speak on the process of how a diamond is made, nobody knows where they come from. There's nothing in history that tells us where they come from. All we know is they come from the dirt, right? That's what you hear from people.
Oh,
Oh, they come from the dirt. But they come from not just any dirt. They come from the lowest parts of the earth. They come from a place where not even human flesh can get to in the ground. They have to rise to the surface. So the diamond's process doesn't start at the lump of coal. The process starts in the dirt.
mm.
Don't despise small beginnings because even when you're in that low season, in that low process, God is still elevating you. And even when you don't feel it's working or you don't see it's working, know that God is working and you will have your time to shine. A diamond's only job is to shine.
I feel so full right now in this moment, and I
Yeah.
just want to say to anybody who's listening or who is watching us right now, just really in this moment, I feel
Hmm.
strongly that it's important to recognize that we're going through a process.
Yeah.
And no matter what, if we started out as a diamond, we're going to end
Mm.
up a diamond,
Mm.
and it takes the polishing and it takes the
Whew.
pressure and it takes
Yeah.
all of that to get us to the ultimate state of where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So when Qiana says don't fall under the pressure, if you fall, I hope that you have some people around you who
Yes, it's important.
while you're down, who
It's
will help you get up, who will pray for you, who will give you the word, who will encourage you. And sometimes you need somebody to get down there with you, like I'm here, sis.
Woo! Yes. Yes.
Because being eye level to eye level is just as important as, here's my hand, let me help you up. And so I just wanted to really take a moment just to say, like, we're all going through a process and we're going through our
Yes.
own processes. But
Yes.
like Qiana said, do not fall under the pressure because you're about to be at your next level. And that means
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
let's stop.
my pressure doesn't look like your pressure, but it's still pressure. So don't look at somebody else and say, "Oh my God." Don't envy, don't feel my pressure is not your pressure, but know that it's still pressure.
Now I gotta go listen to Jonathan McReynolds' pressure, pressure. Like that song has completely different meaning for me now. Just
Wow.
the
Wow. Yeah.
pressure of just the pressure. Like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna fall under the pressure. So tell
Nope.
people, Qiana, how they can get connected to you, how they can order your books, or if you're speaking.
Absolutely. So to connect to me, you can definitely go to my website, www.ladyqnetwork.com. All of the information about me, what I do, my books, my events, My programs that I offer, they're all on there. You can check out my social media pages. Instagram is the official _ Lady Q Network. My Facebook page, I would love for you all to go and like. It's Lady Q Network on Facebook. Email beinspired@ladyqnetwork.com. Send me a message, send me a like. The books you can order right off my website, or you can go to Amazon as well and order the books on Amazon. There are 2 books. The third one will be coming out this month.
Very, very soon. Do
Very,
you
very soon.
have any final words?
Ah, I always end any quote that I do, any word of encouragement, I always end with be inspired today, but be encouraged always. And I love you. God loves you, and so do I, Lady Q.
Well, we want to thank you all for joining us today. There are other Resilience Project chats. You can find them at my YouTube channel, Penda James, or on my Facebook page, facebook.com/scribe coach. And we appreciate you. We love
Absolutely.
you. Have an awesome, awesome day.
Bye. Thank you